No, I got you this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the southeast from state to state? What team hungry gon' eat everything up off they plate? Who the next one that's really gon' step up and be great? Yeah, the FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy Coach I. All right, man, we in here for another Inside the Locker Room live stream, man, brought to you by the Tailgate Kings. All right, man. It's time to get started, man. While we're getting started, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host, the host with the most energy, man, former DB, UGA, Erik Robinson. E-Rob, what's going on, E-Rob?
Coach, what's happening, baby? Week number 3, we here. Hey, look, man. Taking my kids to school, boy. I went outside. It's starting to smell like fall. You know what I'm saying? You can smell it. It's starting to feel like football. I can't tell you. I'm excited. Look, we got Bulldog royalty on the show tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell you how excited I am. But listen, Bulldog Nation, listen to me. I know we're talking about tonight, but I need your face in the place next week. Next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Look, Kirby done opened the doors to all the old Bulldogs, all the old players for this weekend scrimmage, right? It's scrimmage number 2. This is the big scrimmage. So during this scrimmage right here, we're going to kind of get a real good idea how the depth chart going to break down. You know, and then, the coach start figuring out roles for players and all that good stuff. Well, look, I'm going to be in the building. I'm going to have all 4 eyes in the place. So I'm going to let you know what's going down. So be here next week. I'm going to give it to you unfiltered, raw, and uncut. What I saw, I'm going to break it down to you, the things that we need to worry about, maybe kind of worry about development, and the things that you don't need to worry about. We should be good going forward. So be here next week. I know, Coach, I broke rule number 1. We got to worry about the opponent this week, but I'm looking down the road. Don't worry about it, though.
Speaking of worrying about this week, former wide receiver for UGA, Curry Allen. CA, what's going on, man? My man say he can't even wait, dog.
Look, my guy had a couple of words. He just had to get out. You know, again, I can feel it in the air when you get with E-Rob every time. You know what's going on with those dogs. So I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to what's going on, not only next week, but what we got in store for tonight. So, excited to be here, man. You know, again, we just got past the first real scrimmage. I had a chance to hear some of the comments from our head coach and what we look like and how we need to move forward. So it is time. It's real right now, and decisions are being made. So glad to be here, Coach.
That's what's up, man. Coming into the Fanatic co-host number 3. What's going on, Cool Cal? UGA Fan.
Hey,
What's happening, fellas, man? I love the energy tonight. First off, let me say that. E-Rob, I got a question, man. Do you practice that, or you just come out here with that energy just like that?
Oh, man.
It's authentic, baby.
I mean, it was just it rolled off, man. That was awesome. That was fantastic, man. For real, that was fantastic, man.
It's real talk every time, baby. That's what you're gonna get, Dog Nation, when you tune in to inside the locker room. I didn't practice that either. That's just right there off the tip.
Off the dome, baby. Off the dome. All right, last but not least, let's bring in our two-sport athlete, Mr. Track Star, Mr. Wide Receiver UGA, Thad Parker. What's going on, Thad?
Fellas, what's so good to be here? Hey, I was about to ask E-Rod who the ghostwriter was. But with that being said, I'm happy to be here, ready for another good week, another great show, man. Let's get it.
That's right, man. That's right.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Listen, we got like E-Rob said earlier, man. They got a second scrimmage coming up this Saturday, which means that'll be 2 Saturdays away from kicking it off in the Benz against the Ducks, man. It's like right around the corner. It seemed like it took forever, but now it's right here.
Now it's here, right?
Now it's here. So all y'all gonna be in the house on Saturday? Thad, you showing up for the scrimmage too?
I plan on being there. Have my face in the building. If you ain't there, it's uncivilized.
Okay.
Talk to them. Tell them, shout it.
CA, what's your plan Saturday? You in the building too?
You heard how bad that man just talked about whoever don't get a chance to be there. So I can't get in that. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the place. I'm gonna do what I can to be there because we do need to see with our with our own eyes firsthand exactly what's going on in Kirby. Our head coach is giving us that access. I'm gonna take it.
And let me say this, Coach. Let me say this real quick, Coach. So, Dog Nation, you might be getting a lot of reports from reporters about what's going on in practice. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Kirby does not allow the media to stay much past stretching, so they're really getting that information secondhand. We're gonna give it to you firsthand, what we see, unfiltered, raw, and uncut. So I just want to say that real quick.
And with that said, I don't if anybody that know Kirby, man, know he not gonna show nothing to the media because he know how the media is. So he showed them what they want to see.
CA hit it on the head. It is very important that you even getting this access, and the fact you have an opportunity, he's giving you that access. You will be a fool to turn it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Even as players, if you're given that access, you got to take advantage of it.
That's right, man. Hey, we'll be in the building. That's right. So next Tuesday, Dog Nation, like E-Rob say, man, y'all got to tune in so y'all can get it raw and uncut from the former players on how it's going down in Athens, man. The only thing out of Athens so far, like news-wise, that's really true and relevant is Arian Smith got an ankle injury. Like, the boy can't catch a break, man. I feel bad for him, dog. It's like he got to have ankle surgery. He out for 4 to 6 weeks. We was looking forward to seeing what he could do with a full healthy season. But it don't look like we're going to get that. So hopefully he can get back in time for the SEC championship or something like that.
All right.
Speaking of injuries, man, so Thad, I mean, we had talked about, I think on the first show, man, how you gave up track because it was just too much on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think Arian ran track this past season. But the dude can't stay healthy. Is it just body, or is it just he training too hard, or what's going on?
Well, sometimes, Coach, sometimes you just have bad luck. I mean, you playing a contact sport. Yeah. I mean, and when you making all these collisions and you're not getting hurt, you're really fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a multitude of reasons. I won't try to sit here and try to, say what it could be because, I mean, it's football. Like I said, it's a contact sport. And, some people just have that look. I played with people who just couldn't stay healthy.
Yep.
Hey, well, I hate it for them, but next man up, as we said last year, that's going to be in one of our topics we talk about tonight. Like Aaron, we was looking for Arian Smith to stretch the field, but we'll talk about that a little later on, man. Time to jump into that first segment. So what we're going to do, man, going forward, we're going to do I'm going to put y'all on the spot, man, and we're going to be doing a little start bench cut with the Dogs. So today's guys, and since we short one, we're going to let everybody stay on the screen for this one, and I'm interested to see what the debate going to be. So today's start bench cut position is the quarterback position. Now, amongst the Dog Nation on social media, this topic goes around continuously, and we're going to see what y'all think, man. So, quarterback position, who you starting, who you benching, and who you cutting. We got Eric Zaire, we got Aaron Murray, and we got DJ Shockley. Cool, Cal, you first up the bat, dog.
Oh, I want to hear this. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey man, I was sitting around. I think at some point I switched them around all, you know what I'm saying, at some point. So by default, I'm not even gonna tell this long story, but by default, I seen Erik Robinson fortunately play at an early age. I used to live in Germany as a kid. I seen him play at high Germany his freshman and sophomore year. Awesome, dominated over there. Obviously was a great player when he came over here to the States. So just based upon that, I've seen him at an early age. He's fantastic. He was a great quarterback for UGA. I'm going to go with Erik Robinson start.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Shockley off the bench.
Okay.
Wow.
So Shockley off the bench. Shockley came in that 1 year. He won the SEC championship in that 1 year that he had his opportunity to start. I'm going to give him the nod based on that. And unfortunately, because somebody had to be cut, I had to cut Murray. But that's my 1, 2, 3. Zaire, Shockley, Murray.
All right.
Dog Nation, we international. I'm telling you, we international over here. I don't know what y'all talking about.
International.
Oh my goodness.
This man went all over to Germany and saw Erik Robinson play. We international.
All right.
It's a real
CA.
dog fan.
You up the bat, man.
Right.
Who you starting?
They're like 9
Who you
years
bitching?
old. So
And who you cutting? Zaire, Murray, or Shockley, dog?
You know what? I hate this. I don't like this. I don't know whose idea it
I
was.
don't like
to
it.
put
I don't
together.
like it.
I'm not a fan of it. You know, you got me in a spot, but I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna finish the job and answer the question. You talking about guys I got a lot of affinity for. So I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top. You know, my number one is gonna be DJ Shockley. He only gave us 1 year in Athens. I think he deserved far more than that. Of course, hometown guy, College Park, stand up. North Clayton High School. It ain't going nowhere. I got him in the number one spot behind versatility, arm strength, and understanding the game. It's not just because I want him there, but I think he's the most versatile of the three. In the second hole, I got Erik Robinson. I mean, I had a chance to play with him as a freshman. I saw him at his best. I saw how he led that team. I saw him play with lesser talent, and I was on the field. So I know what he could do with comparable guys around him. Aaron Murray, I won't discredit him. I just got him in that 3 slot because of what I already mentioned. So that's my order. I'm sticking with.
That's what's up. All right. Thad, you up the bat, dog. Start bench cut. Zaire, Murray,
Young, baby.
Shockley.
I'm like, CA, I really don't even appreciate this. You know what I mean?
I don't like that.
I don't even appreciate this. But what I'm gonna do is, and I'm gonna base it off the knowledge I can say right off the top of my head, and I maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm just gonna go off the top achievement and the athleticism and what he brings to the game. I'm gonna go with Shockley as one because he won the SEC championship. That's the whole name of the game, is to win, and I think he won at the highest level amongst these particular people here. Number two, I'm gonna go with Aaron Murray. Because once again, it's about winning games, and ultimately he had, at one point in time, I think he was the SEC all-time leading passer.
Still is.
That counts.
Yeah, I think it still is. Yep.
still is.
That counts.
So based off of career achievement, I'm gonna put him at number 2. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put Zaire at 3, even though I saw him play at a young age too and saw what he could do. But once again, I'm just gonna finish the drill, and that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's what
All
it
right,
is.
E-Rob, you will be in the position to defend against these guys, man. So you may have a different perspective. Who you gonna start? Who you benching? Or who you cutting between Erik Zaire, Aaron Murray, and DJ Shockley?
Well, first, I do want to echo what everybody else said. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. At all.
This is how we start. This is
Yeah, I know. This is a terrible way to start. Anyway, for me, I'm gonna base mine on production.
Okay.
So yeah, it is about winning. I do understand that, but for me, I'm gonna base this on production. So for me, it's out of Aaron Murray and Zaire for the start. I'm gonna go with Zaire start because he's the best quarterback I've ever seen with my eyes that I played against and played with. So
Okay.
that's that. He's gonna be the starter. Aaron Murray is going to be on the bench, and then Shockley's going to be cut only because, and it wasn't his fault. Actually, the guy that's we're going to have on the show tonight kept him off the field. He wasn't able to get on the field. He only had that 1 year to show us. It was a great year. It was a magical year, but it was only 1 year. So because of that, just because of their Bulldog career, he only had the 1 year. I can't have him as my starter. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Y'all can bring it. Bring the smoke. I'm here. Bring it.
Ain't no smoke on this question, man.
Yeah.
You can't win on this.
Listen, man, honestly, you can't go wrong, man. These are things like I just let y'all. So y'all, from a player perspective, played with some of these guys, and in that Georgia player alumni with these guys. From a fan perspective, man, this kind of thing goes on a daily basis, man. You have people arguing about.
Oh, we get asked these same questions when we go home. It's not the first time, and we just decline.
Right.
Just to let y'all know, I'm gonna give y'all a heads up going forward. This will be how we start the show going forward. So just to get into it.
Where you at with it, Coach? What's your list? Where you at?
So if I'm gonna start one, I'm starting DJ. I know he only got the 1 year, but I mean, we all knew what was coming when even before he got to start, we seen flashes of it. And when he got there, he did his thing. I felt like if he had played against Florida that year, we might have been playing it for the Natty and got us the SEC championship. Second, I'm going to go with Aaron Murray because of something Thad said with the stats. He's the all-time SEC leading passer. Along with Erik Zaire, man, there's been some good quarterbacks in the SEC, dog. And one of those years, the dude didn't even really have no running back. He had like J.J. Greene that transferred to Tech later on and somebody else. He was just out there tossing the rock, man. So Erik Zaire, he was the first quarterback at Georgia that I seen personally live against South Carolina. He did them in with Hassan Graham in Columbia. But I'm going to have to go with Aaron Murray. So let's give a shout out to some of these dolls in the comments, man. All right, Marissa Simpson say some damn good dolls on here, man.
Oh, say 5. Shout out to Marseille Simpson, man. 043.
Fullback.
It's a running back, man.
Get a fullback some love.
All right, and then we got Shelby in the house. She's gonna start Aaron Murray, cutting DJ, and then coming with Erik Zaire off the bench.
Okay, let's go, Shelby.
Okay,
let's
go.
All right.
Shelby, you broke my heart.
Right. Good follow-up shit.
Yeah, for real.
All right, we got Antonio Partridge in the house.
Southside. Real. I see you, Pat.
All right, we got Frank Harvey in the house. What's going on,
Frank,
dog?
what's
That's the OG. Hey, that's the fullback. Now, hold up, man. He know all about it.
Man, these fullbacks in the building.
We got the head, Frank. Big bro, we need you.
Antonio say Quincy Carter, DJ, and whoever. QC wasn't in the choice. AP, man.
Right,
Quincy might be on down
the east side.
That's the east side. He from the east side. I was just about to say that.
T-Pain in the house. What's going on, T-Pain?
What's going on, TP?
Fellas.
I put them boys on the 50% of y'all viewers are fullbacks.
Salute to the fullbacks. What's happening?
Oh man, hey
man.
Dirty work. They move fullback to tight end now.
Just a good way to get the show started, man. We're gonna go ahead and get into our topics today, man. We're gonna be breaking down this offense today, man. Talking about what we strong at, what we can improve at, where we might see some weaknesses. Let's start with the skill positions, the running backs, the tight ends, and the wide receivers, man. We talked earlier about Arian Smith being hurt. We was looking forward to him stretching the field. Last year, him along with Burton, who transferred to Bama, stretched the field a little bit. And Lad McConkey some. So what is the importance in who we think we're going to do that stretching the field this year, CA? So who we going to be looking to this year to try to stretch that field, man? Because we know about the tight ends, but we still got to be able to go downfield sometime.
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you. The only name I'm going with is A.D. Mitchell right now. And I know that's a big burden on a sophomore, but, the job is what it is. We're going to have to be creative. I think Todd Monken is going to have to find ways to not only use wide receivers because we are thin at that position right now, but he's also going to use those tight ends and be dynamic or as dynamic as possible. especially in how we influence the safeties. I think that's going to be the biggest part of our passing game. How can we impact how deep these safeties play? That way we can incorporate a lot more of the crossing routes, the timing routes, and get a lot more guys the ball in open space. So I'm intrigued to see how it's going to be done, because I don't have a name to give you. You know, I don't have a name to call, because the guy's got to show up and step up and prove it, and you don't get it handed to you until you've done it. So I'm looking forward to seeing who gets these opportunities. We all understand what's going on at the tight end position, but you asked at the wide out. You know, outside of Mitchell, I hate to hear the injury to Arian Smith. We've got to get some guys to step up. You know, I do know that 10 is going to be there. You know, I count on Jackson to be the solid guy in the slot, and with him being a veteran, it's going to be a great opportunity for him to continue to step up. So Kearis Jackson, Mitchell, and we've got a to be determined out of that third slot that really needs to reveal itself here in the later stages of camp.
That's what's up, man. And you made some good mentions, man. Cool Cal, you up on that question, man, with the running backs. You know, James Cook stretched the field a little bit here and there too. Running backs, wide receivers. Which group you looking at, like, to have somebody step up and be that guy to stretch the field?
I'm gonna go to the tight end group. Be honest with you, I saw this kid play a few times in high school, and he's one of the best players I've ever seen. I'm looking for Eric Gilbert to step up in a big role. I think he's a big body guy. You can stretch him out. You can have him in line. He can do a lot of things. He's really versatile. To go along with Bowers, I just think that's going to be a combination. It's going to be too tough for anybody to stop. I'm looking for him to really have a big time year to show what he can do. You know, he might be the second best tight end in America. So I'm looking for us to kind of really control that middle of the field. I don't think we necessarily have to worry about let's just throwing it down. I know you have to have something, but our strength is going to be with our hands. So I think we need to get them the ball as much as we can, and that's going to be the strength of the offense for me.
Okay. Dad, what you thinking, man? Do our running backs need to be in the passing game a lot more this year, since we got a couple of injuries, people missing, or you thinking the wide receivers can handle that job of stretching the field?
I mean, the way I want the running backs to be more involved in the passing game is on passing down with pass protection. I don't think they necessarily got to be all down the field, catching the ball, making big plays like that. I think we have enough guys on the outside that's going to be able to make those plays, because at the end of the day, most of the guys that we got big bodies. Yeah. You know, we got big bodies. And the good thing about the wide receivers, although we might be thin, these guys are going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's the big kind of football to play right there, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because you got a 50% chance win, or you get a penalty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in terms of stretching the field, I'm not really worried about that, because it's going to be high percentage, you know what I'm saying, throws. And then with the running backs, I just want them to be able to pass, protect. That's what I need them to do, is pass, protect. Because at the end of the day, we got an MVP no matter what nobody says. Now, Stetson Bennett is our MVP, and I don't need to see him getting dirty.
That's right. Hey, I'm with y'all.
I see you, CA. Absolutely. I was about to almost fell out the tether.
Hey, I'm with y'all, man. Like, we definitely got a lot of weapons. I just know sometimes I don't know if we have a defense on the schedule that can scheme against the intermediate passes. But I just know in the past we have, like at the beginning of Kirby's tenure, we was I know a lot of people in Dog Nation is like, we don't go down the field enough. We don't go down the field enough, which causes defenses to try to scoot up, stack the box, and things of that nature. So I was just wondering where everybody stood, on things like that.
Oh, that equal ball control.
Yeah, but I think you got to look at what the strengths of the team are. And clearly, the strength of the team is the tight end room as far as the offense. The offensive line is a strength, and the tight ends. So, with the injuries that we have at receiver, we still got some other guys coming up. Blaylock should be back, hopefully. Jackson, some of those guys should come back. So I think we still should be in pretty good shape on the outside. But the strength of the team is completely the tight ends. And if we can get them the ball, as much as we can get them the ball, I think we'll be in good shape.
I think that'll help too, like y'all said, to use those tight ends in the short game, ball control, like Thad said, because our defense gonna need a little, at least that middle part of the defense gonna need a little time to get acclimated. Yep. I think we got some athletes there, but they ain't got a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? So if we can control that ball a little bit.
I don't care how good they is. I'd rather have them on the sideline. I don't care how good they is. I'd rather have the defense on the sideline. You know what I mean? So we, you know what I'm saying, ball control and score points, you know, I'm with that all day. I'd rather have the defense. I don't care how good they is.
Now, CA, with all the weapons we got, are you worried that, like, even if we don't go downfield, we have guys that can make a move and take it to the house? Are we worried about scoring too fast?
Not at all. I mean, I think we're going to take it however it comes. I want to give a shout out to CeeLo Butler. He mentioned the great guy. I didn't mention it, Lad McConkey. Yep. You know, you're exactly right. I mean, we've got guys in the room that can make plays, but it's really, you know, all of the cards are going to be held by Coach Monken because he's got a veteran signal caller. He's got players in the room, whether we're comfortable with the names or not. You know, it's really going to be up to Coach Monken as to how he chooses to use these guys in a dynamic way. When we look across the conference, the closest comparison is Alabama. We know we just lost a wide receiver to Alabama. The reason is because Alabama had over 100 more pass attempts when you look at the totality of the season last year. So many more opportunities for players to make plays. We got to look at how to mitigate that. What do we want to do? We're not recruiting to win, but we're at the same time, we got to acknowledge the product we put on the field. I think we've taken advantage of what we've had in the building. At this point, we've got an opportunity to be a lot more dynamic because of what goes on in the tight end room and what's going on in our running back room. I think those are going to be an addition to help the receivers to be a lot more dynamic this year, but it's really going to be all on Todd Monken, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think Todd Monken did an interview. He said, hey, man, Kirby pays me to score. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm not worried about everything.
Boom.
Guys, it's a name.
Short and sweet.
Guys, there's a name that you guys kind of glossed over, and I get why you would gloss over because he's been gone for a couple of years. But let's just look out for Dominic Blaylock. Watch him in the passing game. Watch him come out of nowhere. Because the kid was a ball as a freshman. You talk about being snake bitten. This kid is, you know, as soon as he got himself back, you know, he hurt himself again the same knee. So the kid is a baller. We get him back. So I expect him to make his mark this year as well. So look for him to stretch the field.
Which y'all going to practice?
How do you ever get out of 12 personnel though? How do you ever?
It's hard. It's gonna
be hard. That's tough.
I don't know, man. I don't know, really. Not this year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
right.
But no matter what year you have, these guys are just dynamic in their own right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what you have.
Look at JV telling in to my some three
tight ends. Yeah, see, here we go. Look, he ain't even on the show tonight.
This is what I'm talking about. 13 personnel.
Don't want to get a wide receiver. What do we have a wide receiver that step up like AD did, man? Sometimes you got to show the wide receiver some love too, man.
Guys, but you're right, guys.
I'm looking for that kid to have a big year, though. I'm really looking for that kid to have a big year. I think he's dynamic. I think he's got the right skill set. He showed me some in that national championship game.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I went to one of the spring practices, man. I'm going to tell you, I don't care what DB they put out there, Ringo included. None of them check AD. He was cooking everybody at practice. So, I mean,
I like to hear that.
No, you can see that body control at that first spring. I'm with you, Coach. You can see his body control. He looked like Pickens out there. If you didn't know, he looked like Pickens. Mm-hmm. And believe me, that's saying a lot. Because to me, Pickens, that body control, only other person I saw like him was AJ Greene. Exactly. Yeah. AJ Greene and him.
Right.
Those are freaks.
Right.
Freaks of nature.
Yeah, it's different.
So on to the person that's gonna be tossing them that ball, as Thad said, the MVP, the offense. That's right. I mean, so
it is. You're right.
That's right. Stetson played big time in the playoffs. He almost played a perfect game against Michigan, and then he came back in that fourth quarter and sealed the deal, you know what I'm saying, against Alabama for the chip. Where are we looking for Stetson to improve? I mean, he can't. Man, his height is what his height is. We know that, but he's very efficient. But everybody could use some improvement. So, Dad, where could we see Stetson improve this year, though?
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. That's the great thing about hindsight, being able to go back and watch film. You know, not being a prisoner of the moment, which I was a lot doing throughout the season, but I only had a chance to go back and watch a lot of film. You know, a lot of people like to call this kid a game manager and stuff like that. Let me tell you, this man made a lot of plays, man. I'm talking about a lot of plays.
Oh,
One on one, he take the opportunity, he let it fly.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, but to answer your question, Coach, you know what I would like to see him. You know, he has to with any quarterback, he has to eliminate those 2 to maybe 3 mistakes he make a game.
Okay.
Other than that, Coach, you know, them bonehead throws he'll make sometimes, you know, just 2, 3 mistakes, you know, a lot of quarterbacks do it. But other than that, you know, I have to take my hat off. I salute the kid. What he does with the offense, I think he has a great grasp of it now. I think they're going to probably open it up a little bit more and let it rip a little bit more. I really expect a lot from this kid this year.
That's what's up, man. And speaking of quarterbacks, man, we got a special guest in the house for everybody, man. We talking about one of the top 5 winningest quarterbacks in NCAA history. We talking about the SEC championship quarterback.
Come on,
we talking
man.
about a 4-year starter. We talking about Mr. David Greene. What's going on,
man?
Big Greene?
Let's go,
Fellas,
man. Bulldog royalty. Let's go.
Glad to have you.
Y'all
Glad to have
making
you.
me feel good about myself the way y'all introduced me. I'm telling you what.
Hey, Coach, bring it out now. Coach will
The
bring
truth.
it out.
It's only the truth.
Hey, we speak facts on here now.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Well, good to be with you guys. Good to see some faces I hadn't seen in a while, too. And it sounds like you guys are just as fired up for football as I am.
That's
Absolutely.
right, David. So we talking about quarterbacks, man. We talking about Stetson. Stetson had a good year last year, man. And Thad brought up a good point where a lot of the media likes to say he's a game manager and things of that nature. But Stetson does a lot of great things. But where can you see Stetson improving this year?
Well, I actually think I heard somebody kind of mention this earlier, too. You know, Stetson would do some great things, and obviously the dude's a tremendous athlete. And Kirby, you know, says it time and time again, talking about his feet. And his feet are a huge asset for this offense. I think the biggest thing for Stetson sometimes is that sometimes there's that 1 or 2 plays a game where you kind of scratch your head and you're like,
what? Yep.
what just happened? Like, the last few possessions didn't look anything like this, and he may make, you know, 1 or 2 plays or an interception that is extremely costly. And, you know, when you're, you know, look, it's going to be very difficult to expect the defense to do what they did last year, right? That's impossible to expect that. So turning the football over, I would probably say it's probably the number one thing. Outside of that, I think he's extremely underrated. I think because there's other great, highly touted quarterbacks on the roster, and he wasn't highly touted, he was a walk-on. He gets passed over a lot. But the dude, we won a national championship with this guy. And so, and he is a gamer. You can tell he's one of those guys who's got that toughness, that dog in him. If he makes a mistake, you don't have to worry about him going in his shell. He is going to keep battling and keep fighting back. Because there were times, trust me, in that national championship game where I know all you guys were ready to pull your hair out just like me.
I did.
Well, we needed him to make a mistake. He made it. Because right after that fumble happened, he could have folded his tent. He didn't do it.
Nope.
Yeah. That's some big facts, man. So, and you said we have some good guys on that roster, man, that's behind Stetson. I know we don't like to think of it, but if Stetson should go down, like David, you were in a position where, you know, I think you and DJ Shockley gave us great, you know, great confidence. So, like, if we knew if something happened to you, which thankfully it didn't, we knew we had DJ. Is the feeling the same with the guys that's in the locker room now behind Stetson if something should happen to Stetson?
Well, the one thing that I'm sure Stetson feels, same thing that I felt as well, is you better bring it day in and day out because there's somebody very, very good that's not on the field right now. So if Coach is going to allow you to be the guy that's touching the ball, you better take care of it because you know good and well that there's some other guys that he has a lot of confidence in as well. So, yeah, when you look at the guys behind him, I was at practice one time last year and watching Brock Vandegrift kind of carve up our starting defense one time. I was like, man, this dude. And I watched him play in high school. I was really impressed. Carson Beck was a guy that I think flew under the radar at Georgia for a long time. But I think this year, man, he's really made some strides. Sounded like in spring he really had a big spring. And Gunnar Stockton, I mean, he's a guy that I think most people kind of forget about. He was an unbelievable high school player, and just, I mean, I've watched him play a little bit as well. I mean, he's got a chance to be special as well. So all different styles. You know, in order to play for Kirby, you better have some thick skin. And look, I mean, I think, you know, Stetson wanting to come back, I think it shows me a couple things. I think it shows me, one, the dude loves football, because the one thing we all know, that guy could have sailed off into the sunset and been a hero for a long time, right? We all know. Easily. They write books and movies about it. And no, the dude wants to play football. And I, as a football player, I love that, because that guy is going, I ain't worried about my legacy long term. I want to play football now.
I want to play football. Yeah, I love it.
I respect that about him.
That's what's
I
up.
love it.
CAU's a pass catcher, man, for a couple of different quarterbacks. So how are you feeling about our backup should the unfortunate happen, man?
I think we're solid at the backup position. The main thing is the reps that they're getting in practice. They get an opportunity to work with a lot of the young receivers. Again, the depth at the receiver position is not what we would like to see, but these young men are getting those reps, and these quarterbacks are getting an opportunity to throw to them. One thing that we know is what we have in Stetson, and that affords Coach Monken a lot of flexibility in how he goes about practice. He gets an opportunity to work a lot more of the younger guys in, because Stetson has been through the fire. There's no real big need to put him through all of the third and long drills all season or in the early preseason. We know what he's made of. We know what he's going to do when the stage is big and the lights are bright. Let's get these other quarterbacks the opportunity to work with some of these young pass catchers, because we do have a slew of young guys that are ready to step up. But again, you got to prove it before we really get a chance to know your name. So I think the quarterback position overall, I like the depth. I like the young guys behind Stetson. But again, to see them get a chance to prove it on a Saturday is going to require a lot of factors to come into play.
E-Rob, so do we run Stetson as much as we can run Stetson, knowing that we don't have a lot of experience behind him?
No, I don't expect to see a lot of call quarterback runs. I mean, he will pull the ball here and there. You have to do that to keep the defense honest, but I don't see them just sitting them out there on a whole bunch of naked bootlegs and quarterback draws and things of that nature. I think he will. You know, we're going to drop back and throw the ball a little bit. If it's not there, he will use his legs and make some first downs and do some things and move the chain. I don't think that's going to change. I don't think they're going to try to call the offense in a manner to try to protect him. We're going to try to go out there and score points. Monken, like you said, we're going to try to score points, period. Whatever it takes to score points. If we got to run the damn option, we're going to run the damn option to score points. If we got to throw it 50 times, we're going to do that. Whatever it takes to score points is what we're going to do. So that's what I expect. And I'll tell you this. Like I said, I'm going to go to the scrimmage this weekend. So I'll tell you more about those backups because, again, I'm going to put all four eyes on all of them and just take a look at them, and I'll tell you what I see.
Okay. David, how important is it, like, if we get a big lead in the second half, is it to get these young guys in so they can get some of those reps?
Good question.
Yeah, no, sure. Like, especially early in the season, we play these games, we're going to, beat somebody about 30, 40 points. Kirby absolutely he's going to want to get these guys some reps. I mean, look at the situation where, Jacob Eason and Jake Fromm, a couple years back, he's going to want these guys to, somewhere to happen to Stetson. He's going to want to feel like some of these guys got some meaningful reps. Because I'm telling you, at the quarterback position, and I knew it from, playing it, I'd go out and practice, I'd do well, and I felt good. But until you actually step in there on a Saturday in front of 100,000, you think you can do it, but you also got to know that you can do it. And so Kirby's going to want these guys to build some confidence. And plus, he's wanting that internal competition amongst the guys, to keep battling and pushing Stetson. I mean, look, let's face it. Kirby ain't playing favorites here. This dude wants to win and wants to win championships. He's wanting every one of these guys to push the next one so they can keep getting better and better. And obviously, Georgia wins in that deal with that internal competition.
That's right, man. And then, another question we have on the offense is the two guard spots. Like, question as in not a lot of experience. We lost Schaefer and we lost what's my other guy that played on the other side? He went to the NFL. He played tackle and guard. Our
Slater. Not Slater.
Oh God, it's on top of my tongue.
Yeah, I think about Slayer.
Sawyer. You said
Sawyer, then what it
Sawyer.
was. Yeah, that,
Okay.
that,
So
Sawyer,
we're looking
I
at
can
like
snipe.
Devin Willock and Tate Ratledge have been getting the most reps. That O-line, how important is it that those guard spots are shored up, David, before the season?
Well, ain't no doubt. Look, as a quarterback, first of all, you rely on a run game. If you want to have a good passing game, the best way to have a good pass game is have a good run game. And the one thing Kirby's done a fantastic job of doing, you got to give a lot of credit to Matt Luke as well when he was at Georgia, is they could recruit some really good, talented offensive line and some good athletic guys. And so, I know Tate, some of these guys have played some reps. Injury kind of kept, I think he got hurt. Man, it might have been the first series of the Clemson game last year.
Yeah.
We got some very capable of starters. The injury bug has been them. I think they'll be fine. The good news is we do have a good mobile quarterback in Stetson. But certainly when it comes to the passing game, you want to make sure you got some guys that can pass block. I don't really have any concerns there. Obviously the key is depth. That's the biggest difference I think you see with great teams and good teams is the great teams, you got like a 1A and a 1B. There's not that much separation between the ones and the twos. Kirby's done a great job in building that. Even though some of those guys I don't know a lot about, I'm confident in the recruiting and the development that they've done that, if one of those guys goes down, somebody can step in and you won't really notice it.
Dan Lanning likes to blitz those linebackers. We've seen it at his time in Georgia and Oregon, who we played first game, got two of the best in the nation. How would that affect, those new pieces on the offensive line?
Okay, Coach, I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to pull an E-Rod right here. David, I want to ask you a question. Who was the first player when you got the UGA made you say, hey, this shit for real, man. I got to switch gears. I got to get in my playbook, or I got to get in the gym, or I got to do whatever I need to do. Who was that player?
That must have been you, Shorty. Was that you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Don't wiggle out like that. Don't wiggle out like that.
Nah, I love it. Hey, and it's true, man. The first thing I did is I got in that playbook, and I'm going, man, I don't even know how to call these routes. I'm more worried about trying to call the plays right. But no, I tell you what scared me when I first got there, and it was one guy that people asked me, who intimidated you most? I said, man, y'all remember Kendrell Bell, obviously. Bell never said a word. But
Terminator.
That dude walked around the locker room. I'm like, dude, I'm staying away from that man. He could fold me in half easily. But then one time we sat on a bus together, and he wouldn't shut up, man. He talked the whole time. He didn't talk for 6 months to me. The one time on the bus, he talked for the whole hour we were going on the bus.
That sounds about right.
All right, Dad. So, like I say,
oh wait, we lost audio.
Yeah, we lost his audio.
Okay.
We lost your audio, David. He's going to town.
Yeah, he talking away too.
We lost your audio.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we lost you.
All right.
Yeah.
What you had, Coach, say about the linebackers?
About the linebackers and how
the Oregon linebackers.
Yeah, Oregon linebackers, Justin Flo and Noah Sewell. How Lanning likes to blitz them. We saw him do it, at Georgia with Channing Tindall, Nakobe Dean. I was thinking Roquan, but we saw him do it with Roquan too.
Yep.
Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. So is that a concern, or how do we handle that with the new pieces on the offensive line?
I don't see it as a concern. I think the guys they're going to be going against every day is just good, if not better than anybody they're going to be playing against on Oregon side of the ball. We should be somewhat familiar with how Dan Lanning likes to do things, even though he may switch some things up. But I think we'll be fully prepared for it. I don't really have any concerns. Like David kind of hit it all on the head with the way that we recruit the guys we got coming, the way that we develop things. I don't see it being a problem at all.
CA, what you thinking, man? We got it handled, or is that guard spot something we should be looking for this weekend when y'all go to practice, man, and so we can see what's really going on?
The guard spot is definitely a concern. We'll be taking a close look at that when we get a chance to look at practice and the scrimmage this weekend, because we need to know what pass protection looks like and who's going to be in the trenches taking care of Stetson. Aside from that, I don't feel like against Oregon we're going to be overly worried about the pass rush, because again, we got all these tight ends, and that's going to help with the offensive line. You know, we're more likely to be in a double tight set than anything else. So that guard spot probably won't get exposed because of what they can do at the outside linebacker blitzing off the edge. So I don't see it being an issue. I think Coach Lanning knows that more than any of us on this call. Yep. He's probably going to be more concerned about trying to keep everything in front of him and not get exposed at the point of attack. Because if he tries to blitz us off the edge, we'll just punish him with a run game right at the same spot. So we'll let him figure it out. But I'm not worried about that against Oregon as far as their pass rush against my offensive line.
Cool, Cal. I'm going to let you get in here on that same sentiment, man. Like, how you feeling about that old line and those two new pieces that we're going to be looking for?
I feel great about them. I think everybody's hit it on the head. The recruiting that we have. Like David said, it's not a lot of separation between the twos and the ones. So just like Ratledge went down in the first game last year, and, somebody else, we won the national championship. So the same thing can happen any year. Unfortunately, injuries are going to happen. We would love to say, okay, everybody's going to stay healthy, but injuries happen. And that's why we have depth. That's why we recruit so well. And so when the band goes down, they can just come right on in. And then hopefully we can at least keep it around that same level. If not, put in a more talented player that can get better with some experience.
Yep. That's what's up. I feel the same way y'all do, man. I think we've recruited at a high level, so I'm not really worried too much about it. I do want to see that position get shored up, and hopefully you guys can give us some good info coming out of practice from this Saturday. All right, David, so I'm going to ask you a question, man. How you feeling about this season? Are we looking to repeat? Of course, we want to repeat, but what are the chances?
Well, look, I think with the talent we got, there's always a chance. Now, there's a lot of things that got to come together. One of the things I heard Kirby say after the season, what made this team so unique was the accountability amongst the players. And I think you guys understand this because y'all played ball. It's different when a coach is trying to get guys motivated to play, and it's different when guys can jump on each other and hold each other accountable, not where you're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings, but you care enough about the season to want to see everybody do well. And last year's team had that. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out this year, I'm not as worried about the talent. It's whether or not certain guys will step up and take that accountability role, that Kirby's is wanting somebody to take on so much. So you saw it last year. I know it became very apparent in the national championship game on that goal line stand when I think Channing Tindall messed up and the coach was all in him. The next play he gets a sack. There was a lot of that. It sounded like week in and week out where guys were challenging each other. It didn't just come from the staff. So I'm just hoping we'll have some guys that can do that. And if they do, we certainly would have a chance to repeat it.
That's what's up. So we got a question from one of our fanatic dogs in here, AP. AP, you might have to, I don't know, we're going to read this question. It says, who is the only Georgia player to have 1,000 yards or less? 4 categories? I don't know. Yeah,
we're going to work on that question.
We're going to work on that. Give us a little bit more info.
I know what he's aiming at, but we'll get it. Yeah, we're
going to put it in the parking lot. You got to explain that. Explain that for us a little bit.
I would answer. I know what he's aiming at, but
we're going to need a spell check.
Wait, I got a question for David. I got a question for David real quick. So when we won the national, when Keely Ringo picked that ball off and ran into the end zone, I can tell you what I did. I jumped up and I screamed, but I had to, cover my mouth. Then I took off running down the street because, everybody in the house was asleep. So I'm running down the street at midnight, 12:30 at night. I'm running. I'm glad I didn't get arrested or anything crazy. When Keely Ringo picked that ball off and he scored, what did you do? When 41 years, when we won the national championship, you knew it was over. What did you do, Mr. Greene?
Well, I tell you what was really cool, man. So I took my wife and my 2 oldest kids. We went to the game, and we were in the end zone that Ringo scored.
Oh, no.
The environment there, it's like nothing else. I told my kids, I was like, look, man, there's nothing that's going to
happen. You don't get better than this.
But I think the same feeling that I have, probably that all the dog fans and you guys felt as well, is, there's been so many pump fakes for so long, like we think we're there, it's not there. And especially after the SEC championship this past year, I told my wife, I said, I ain't going to national championship. Like, joke is on me at this point. But after I saw us whip up on Michigan, I was dialing, trying to get my tickets arranged for the daddy. But just pure excitement, because even throughout that game, it never felt like we ever had a sealed. Didn't even think we were really going to win most of the game. And then when we finally started running that ball, we hit 80 Mitchell, and it just finally clicked, man. It was just, I don't know, it was relief, excitement, just couldn't believe it all in one. It was, but to be there, man, that environment. I mean, the stadium literally was 80% Georgia. It was our year.
Yeah, but hey, man,
I got one.
I think we all was like that. And CA got a question for you too.
Greene, I really appreciate you coming on and joining us today, but I got to ask you a pressing question that I know is going to start a little controversy, but I'm here for it. We enjoyed watching you as a guy that had a chance to see your career, but I really know you had a chance to throw to a lot of great pass catchers.
Yeah.
You know, when I go down, if I go to Gibson or Terrence or Reggie, or give me your favorite trio, or give me your favorite set of guys that you had a chance to throw to, and talk to me about the talent that you had a chance to play with that you felt like helped you along the way.
Well, I'll tell you this. The one thing I was grateful for, I was I would say average athletic, white dude with average arm. But I was blessed to have very good players around me, and I knew that. One thing about Terrence Edwards that I would say, the guy could always get open, and he had a gift and a knack for being able to get in his route and out of his route, and he was always open. If I want to hit somebody in the slot, if I'm going to run an option route with my slot receiver, I want Damian Gary hands down, one of the greatest athletes. And naturally,
shout out Clark Central DG.
Man,
yes.
Clark Central DG was one of the best. Fred Gibson was.
We lost David and lost the connection, man.
I lost him because he was bringing up some of the names I really wanted to hear about. I wanted those are the guys that we want to know about, and they need to know it too.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get him back in the loop, man, and hear about the rest of that list, because that's important.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, all right. So question, Antonio tried to clear up his question. So the original question said, "Who is the only Georgia player to have 1,000 yards?" And he said at least 4 categories. Okay. My fault. Phillips.
Receiving, rushing.
Rushing.
Nobody did it.
At least 4 categories. What would be the 4th category? Return yards.
Nobody did it.
Oh.
We only had one receiver. Well, it's just Terrence, right?
Terrence is the only 1,000-yard receiver.
Right.
Hines had
did he have 1,000?
Hines, that's the answer. That's the answer.
Hines didn't, not in return yards. He didn't get it.
Yeah, well, he.
You don't know that.
No, they hated it. They wouldn't put him back there. They wouldn't put him back there. Hold on, I'm rooting for him. Now, don't do that to me. They wouldn't put him back on the return.
Once you had that smug look on your face.
I know what I was aiming for. I know he was aiming for, because I was ready for that one. I hate he didn't get it. That hurt me. We didn't put him back on kick return no more.
Antonio,
he would be the closer person. Hines would be the closer person.
I was about to say the only other person.
I'm sure.
The only other person to even touch the ball in more than 2 phases, other than Hines, and he didn't get close, is Brandon Boykin. Brandon Boykin he only had like 2 or 3 rushes, so he wouldn't have.
Well, you had Champ touch it in 3 phases: return, yardage, receiving.
Oh, yeah. See, I forgot Champ did return. Yep. So Brandon had punt return, kickoff return. He had a couple of he played receiver a couple of games, but because he won the Paul Hornet one year, but Hines, I think, the only one that could.
He should have. He should have done.
Yeah. So hold on. So
we couldn't put him back deep no more. We needed him
check
on
it
the
out.
center.
He did passing, rushing,
But I just think he said the question up wrong. Someone right about the question.
So was it 1,000 yards or 100 yards? Because he didn't have.
He
said 1,000. 1,000 in 4
It's supposed to be
categories.
1,000 in 4 categories. That's what it's
He
supposed to
said
be.
4 categories.
Yeah.
It should be. I think we might have came 20 yards short.
Or maybe 1,000 in the season because he definitely.
He came up 20 yards short.
I don't think he have 1,000.
No, it's career.
Season, I don't think.
He
No, it's
had
1,000
like
career.
total.
You talking about in career? Okay, yeah,
It's career.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
career.
I got you.
And nobody did all that in 1 year.
Right, one yard.
Hold up, boy.
Right.
They definitely won the Heisman. They did all that
Paul
in 1 year.
Horning numbers.
You ain't lying.
What year that is?
You need two Heismans for that. If you do that in 1 year.
He won a Heisman
You a
and
double
the
Heisman.
No GLP prize.
Hey, well,
Right.
he said, and his college career, he said he did it. Check it out, fellas. So we have to pull up.
I can see that.
Well, clearly he didn't
might
do
be
the
right,
research,
Patrick.
I hope.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Well, if there
That
was
makes sense.
somebody,
I can see that.
if there was somebody
what
in
he's saying. I
Georgia
got
that
it.
did it was Hines.
He's the closer.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody
It
else.
gotta be him.
Okay.
Yeah.
man. Well, there it is, man, about talking about the offense, man. I think y'all made some good points. I think our offense is going to be really explosive this year. I don't know how anybody is going to keep us under 30 points. That's just that. I think that's going to be – I think we're going to – like last year we averaged like 35. I think we're going to be closer to 40 this year.
We averaged like 40. I thought we averaged like 40 last year. 40, 41
it was
or
like
something like that.
30 – I think 35.8 when you average over the season. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
I thought we was around 40.
But,
I did too.
We was definitely one of the most efficient offenses, but I don't think we'll just be efficient this year. I think we'll be very explosive this year, regardless of what we doing, running, passing.
Let's throw out predictions. Let's throw out some predictions on that average for the season, Coach. What we think?
I'll go ahead and start, man. Tonio said we was 34.7 last year. So all right,
Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a new stat guy.
Yep. I know.
Appreciate it.
Get him on the job.
Man. Hey, every week you
got
gotta
to
fact check. You gotta
it.
fact check this. So I'm thinking we're gonna be at that 40-point mark. I think somewhere like a 39.9, 30.8, 39.8 or something like that. I think we're gonna be right there at the 40-point mark. E-Rod, what you thinking?
I'm gonna say 41.5.
All right. Pat?
I'm gonna say right about where we finished that last year, just because we're gonna have more ball control, possibly longer drives, maybe not as many opportunities.
Okay, I can see that. Cool, Cal.
I missed the question. My bad.
What are we thinking the average offense is gonna score this year?
How many points a game?
I think he froze too.
Yeah, he froze up.
Yeah.
Pay your bill. Pay your
thinking?
bill, shawty.
Now he back. He in and out, dog. Like,
You do your dirty.
He got to get that Sprint mobile together.
Get it together, man.
CA, what you thinking, dog? What you thinking that average gonna be?
I think we at least 3 points better than last year. I say 37, hot 37 points a game.
I can see that. Cool, Cal, you back with us now?
Yeah, I'm back. I just paid that bill, man. We good.
Okay.
I'm looking at.
Cash out there.
I'm looking at like I'm gonna say 39 this year, 39 points a game.
Yeah, I think that's about right. We definitely gonna be more explosive, but I can see what like Shawty say, man. We could be trying to do a little ball control this year, but I just think we just got so many playmakers. Sometimes you can try to be doing ball control, and then we just too good, and then dudes just be, you know, you can call the play. You can call the play to get 7 to 8 yards, but then we got the athletes where they take it 20 to the house, 25 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Cole, let's hope we able to have. Let's hope one thing about this particular year, though, on a serious note, that we can actually go into the season with the team that we have on paper right now.
Yeah, without the injuries and stuff.
Yes, knock on wood.
Because a lot of people don't realize, like, our offense was really, really ravaged in that Clemson game.
And people
we started 3 pass
about,
catches that had never started a college football game before when we played Clemson last year.
And people wonder why we didn't open the offense up last year early. Like, we didn't have any receivers. We were literally out there with dudes who had never played college football before.
Hey, man, they're like COVID. We found out we can do better with less.
We said trade Shaq off, though. We got it. We got power.
Hey, man, we found out a whole bunch we can do, man. We
We
started
went for
playing them
depth.
tight end. There you go.
Yep.
Hey, but like you say, it helped towards the end of the season. We had a lot of bodies, so that actually helps when you play early in the season. Play a lot of young people early in the season. But hopefully, like Shawty say, man, whoever y'all see on Saturday, that's one thing Kirby said about last scrimmage. He said it was a healthy scrimmage where we didn't lose a lot of people. So that's what we need going forward, man. So we can be full staff and show the world what we really got. So anybody got anything else before we get up out of here?
I do. Hey,
right.
Dog Nation, be here next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. You're going to get it raw and uncut. And that's
There
it.
it is. There it is. They're going to go to practice. They're going to bring back the real and tell us what's really going on and how we looking on our way to repeating, at least trying to repeat as national
Number 2.
champions.
They get it. Or number 3.
Hey,
I
man.
mean, number 3.
Shout out to David Greene for joining us today, man. Really enjoyed that segment, man. Got good.
That's
info.
right. That's
Good
right.
info.
I hate we lost him.
I know he was about to give us the goods too on the wide receivers.
I think he did that on purpose. I think he might have cut himself.
Now you know what? That was actually what I was like, wait a minute. That was a sweet bailout.
He did it, right?
He said, I'm gonna, I don't
Click.
Yeah, I was gonna try to take a lot of credit for that too, cause both of them boys was up under my tutelage.
Hey, look at here. It starts from a place now. It all starts from a place. Don't worry. You can take all you need. Just understand I'm behind you.
You know you my OG.
We're going to do
Hey,
what we can,
but we definitely want to thank David for coming in, joining in the Fan Addict, man. We got it on. We want to thank our Fan Addict dogs in the house, man. All of the love for all of y'all, man. Go Dogs, Carlo Butler. That's right, man.
Let's go. Go Dogs.
Until next week, man. Hey, listen.
CeeLo.
Tune in next week. Bring a friend. Bring another friend. Bring 10 more friends so we can get the raw and real about how practice. That's what the show going to be
Right
about
here.
next week. We're going to talk a little bit of defense, and we're going to talk about what these guys seen at practice. Everybody has a different vantage point when they looking through their own eyes, so we'll get it and find out how everybody feeling, man. With that said, man, for my boy E-Rob, Cool Cal, CA, Thad, and our guy missing the action, JV, Coach our Fan Addict, Go Dogs.
Go
Go
Dogs.
Dogs.
Sick.
Watch party coming soon.